The con is that if you read the comments, which I do, you really take a lashing every day. Like because you can't, by virtue of taking a position, you just get lashed by one side or the other.
I've heard that.
So now apparently I'm a neocon again. I'm a neocon, which is bizarre because I was pro the raid on Maduro, and people say, well, therefore you're a neocon. And the answer,
well, you're not a neocon, so that's why it's interesting that you were in favor.
Of course,
of it.
But if you're online, yeah, of course. But if you're online, you're whatever the most extreme. That's what they call you. And no, I'm not, and I'm not an interventionist either, but I feel like we're always stuck between this false dialectic of you either do nothing or boots on the ground. We need full Marine battalions to take the beachheads. Whereas I've always been a fan of the Trump approach, which is usually have these guys do targeted strikes, remind the world that the USA is still a world power, even though we might not feel that way, and exercise our might for a good purpose. So people say, well, this is Iraq or Afghanistan again. And I go, the people of Venezuela are not the people they're not the same people as Afghanistan. It's a different people. We've had special forces there for 3-4 decades. We've had business interests there for decades. The people of Venezuela voted out Maduro or tried to, and they couldn't get rid of him. So we went in and we got rid of him. So obviously I oppose escalation and whatever, but the parade of horrors, especially after Soleimani, just hasn't happened yet. And that's because I've talked to a lot of special operations guys during the Trump admin, and the way his approach differed, and this was covered a little bit in the media, but not enough, is under Obama, they just didn't let the D-boys and them run missions. Everything had to get approval and work up the chain, and by the time it happened, they didn't have their targets. And the Trump approach was, we have these people, they're trained. The level of the missions that they can accomplish, which we saw on video, is unbelievable, right? And he lets them do the missions, they do the targeted strikes. I've always been supportive of that. Like I remember I spent time with my wife in Vietnam, and you'd roam around all over the place. And I remember we did the tours of the caves. And all I could think of was
the tunnels.
Not even the tunnels yet, just the caves and the jungle. And all I could think of was, I can't even fit in through here. What in the world are we doing sending 18-year-old corn-fed boys and black guys into the Vietnam jungles? Because if anybody had done any kind of advanced recon, you would just say, our guys are too big for the territory. You would literally just go through. There's just a lot to be said for looking at the real estate.
Right.